Right, so guys, as you know, every single market isn't always a tradable market, and it's knowing when to stay away from the ones that aren't tradable. 30% of the time the market's trending, so the other 70% of the time you should be sitting on your hands and looking for good positions to get into. You shouldn't be trading all hours of the day every single day. But before we get into what markets to avoid, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell so you see videos just like this in the future. So hopefully at this point you'll be able to see my screen, and we're going to dive into some markets that you should definitely not trade and stay away from. Staying away from markets that are untradeable is actually going to be the deciding factor on how much money you actually make. It's not how many good trades you get in. So if the market's only trending 30% of the time, if you're able to make good decisions and staying away from bad markets 70% of the time, your money will double, triple, quadruple, quintuple, and it will snowball every single time you get that little bit better at staying out of the markets. And then when the market is playing ball and you are getting trends and you're able to catch nice moves depending on your strategy, whether you're longer term or shorter term, what types of entry charts, time frames that you like to use, you're going to make a lot more money. So again, this applies to all different types of strategies, because we're going to go through multiple time frames. We're going to go through the daily, we're going to go through the 4 hour, all the way down to the 1 hour, and you will get the gist of types of candles and market behaviours to stay away from. You'll then be able to apply in the lower time frames like the half an hour, the 15 minute, 10 minute, the 5 minute, so on. So let's just pick a random chart here. Your USD, bear in mind we're on the daily right now. Okay, we are on the daily right now, so let's try and find a market that we would probably see here. I mean, this just really isn't, I mean, one could argue you could get some trades here, but for me it's not really like a very tradable market. I mean, if you see the top to the bottom here, I mean, you're not really getting much to go off of. Let's see what the range is. I mean, you are able to get some good trades, but I mean, how much the market's actually moving isn't very good. I mean, as you can see here, we've had, you know, what would look to be a bullish run, and then we've just dropped all the way back down to where we've started. Then we've came back up to test highs and broken up. It's not clear, typical structure that you would be tending to trade. Again, the candles are just, you know, wicking all over the place. Candle bodies themselves are quite small. We're not getting much good volume. You can see here we get good volume, but it's not in a predictable structure of lower lows and lower highs, or higher highs and higher lows. As you can see, look at the size of these candles here. So in the space of, you know, 12 hours, it's just really not doing anything at all. And if you could see that, we see here on the 2nd of November, if we go back up to the daily, 2nd of November. So yeah, you just really aren't getting much movement at all. It's just moving sideways. Now we're getting a lot of wicks up, we're getting a lot of wicks down, a lot of indecisions. So for freezes here, we've just been indecisive. When would we have got back in this market? We probably wouldn't have traded this market for quite some time. We might have traded this market as we've created a lower high here, lower low and then a lower high. Technically you could be looking at something like this. And then of course you would have to be looking out for other things that like supports, resistance, checking out on the news, making sure that you've got higher time frame agreement. So if you trade slightly longer term, maybe you're looking at the weekly, the daily and the 4 hour, or you could be a slightly shorter term trader. You could be looking at the 4 hour, 1 hour and the 15 minute. Depends what types of charting patterns you're looking at and what sequences you're looking at them in. You're going to know basically if a market has got good volume or if it's got bad volume and what's happening across all of these time frames. So you can see on the daily chart here we weren't getting very good movement, and you could also see why when you move down to the 4 hours and the 1 hours, things just aren't given a proper structure, they're moving sideways. The wicks on the body of the candles are erratic, they're not really giving us a sense of direction, they're not showing us that the buyers or the sellers are in control. It's showing us that there are loggerheads. There's a lot of people not really sure where to go, and the buying power and the selling power is almost equal. Sometimes you might get a lot of wicks to the upside, which would suggest quite a lot of selling power, and then you get back down to where the bullish run originally started, and then it takes off like a rocket. That's unpredictable. That's not common market structure. It's not predictable, tradable market structure. You get some people who do make money off these sorts of things, but again, it's not exactly common, and if they do make money, it will be very lucky, and it won't be able to be sustainable and maintain it as a strategy throughout their trading career. So again, once this failed to break really convincingly this high here, we would have just left the market and moved sideways for a number of months from November to, I'd say, about January was when we first. The fact that we couldn't push past this high would tell us that we got new bearish structure, and the fact that we pushed below these lows here, that's when you would start to realise, okay, this is a good market that we want to start getting into again. So let's look at another one. Let's pick, say, GBP USD. So as you can see here in the market, a lot of erratic wicks are up, they're down, and there's not really much conviction, there's not really much structure in where the actual price action's going. As you can see, we've started down on the 30th of December 2018, and we're getting pushes up higher, pushes up higher, pushes up higher, but whilst we're getting these pushes up higher, we're being rejected. And then, as you can see, these are the types of things you want to be looking out for. Massive wicks on candles that are just untradable, they're unpredictable, and they are going to take out a lot of liquidity, most likely your liquidity. Again, not too far away from, say, the 3rd of January, and then we had another one on the 15th. This would indicate that a lot of buyers are stepping in the market, and then we do get a good solid run up. But once we do get a good solid run up, what happens again? We come back and test these lows and break just slightly below, not convincingly, but slightly below, and then we barely make a higher high here, but then we make another higher low, and then almost break the high of this previous move, but again, barely, and then the market's just really not making any convincing move. One could argue that this could have been a descending triangle here, maybe. And then it broke ever so slightly, but then it didn't break for long, then it broke back above it. Not using this as resistance now that it had been broken from support. We looked like we could have used this again for a higher high, higher low situation to push up bullish, and then we've not very convincingly but still moved even lower. Really small bodied candles. If we go down to 4 hour and a 1 hour, yeah, I mean, we do have a trend, but it just doesn't really look that convincing. Maybe could have got in this if you were a shorter term trader, but because of how steep it is, you know it's going to be broken eventually. We sort of just dwindled a little bit here, tried to push up higher, and then just not really. I mean, to try and trade these markets, it would mean just taking stop losses out left, right and centre. You want to be staying away from these types of plays. It's not going to be profitable for you, and anybody that tells you they're making money or shows you they're making money in these types of trades, stay well away from them and don't listen to them, because they don't know what they're talking about, and it was definitely luck. And again, it continues even in the uptrend here, so just wicks all over the place. Just not good. I mean, I don't really care what time frames you're trading on. Stay away from these types of markets. There are plenty of other markets to look at, and if most of them are the pairs that you're looking at are doing this and you can't see a good setup, that's the time to sit on your hands, walk away from the charts and save your money. Remember, 30% of the time you should actually be trading. The other 70% to make up the 100 you should be analysing. 70% of that you should be making decisions to stay out of the market. 30% of that time you should be making decisions to get in the market, depending on your entry and exit criteria, your risk appetite, your strategy, and what you look for in the markets. So hopefully at this stage you're actually starting to get a good picture of just markets that aren't really tradable. Again, if you've been following some of our other content, you're going to be able to know market structure at this point in a bullish and bearish market. You're going to know what range in markets are, and this coincides and ties in with everything that we're talking about here, making sure that you know markets to avoid, because again, I know it sounds boring, that's where you're going to make most of your money, staying out the bad trades and making good decisions on sitting on your hands, not placing any trades, and making sure that you know what type of market you're getting into. If you know you're getting into a market that's untradeable and you want to risk your money, then so be it. At least you'll actually know what type of market you're getting into, and you understand why you've lost your money, and you will know that you are more gambling than technical trading. So let's pick another chart here and let's dive right into it. So let's say we wanted USD JPY. Now let's find another part of the market that we would deem to be untradeable. In our eyes, you're always going to get somebody that's going to come on one of these videos and tell you that it's tradable and that they can make money, and DM them for more information. Again, see little bits like this. I mean, let's go on the daily to get a better sort of perspective on it. Yeah, so we can see here, we're just not getting any movement at all, and we really just started this sort of sideways action on the 31st of January 2014, and we really broke out it properly on the 1st of September 2014. So for almost a year, this pair was just moving sideways. It's crazy. For 9 months, this pair was just moving sideways. Technically, you can make little small wins in consolidating markets, sideways moving markets, but waiting and being patient for the breaks of these types of markets is where you're really going to make a lot of money. Because if you can see here, right, say we drew a box on this little piece of price action here, right, and you can see here this area of support round about 105.420, and look how perfectly that used this piece of what was resistance, and as soon as it's been broken is now being support. Look how perfectly I used it. So you probably would have entered a buy trade round about the break and close of this region here at 104.234, and then you probably would have entered a buy position here where your stop was probably somewhere back inside this box, and look how much profit you would have made if you let this run and allowed it to know where your support and resistance areas are. So for example, if you were to break out here, you would have put your stop loss somewhere back inside this pattern, well away from any previous resistance that's now been broken, because markets will use that to then be tested, because it's now become a naked level. It's not been tested before, so it will be skeptical on how it reacts when it goes back into this level. Sometimes it will be respected very well, as you can see in this case. Other times it won't be respected at all and it will crash right through. So you want to know exactly where to put your stop losses. Make sure it's back inside of patterns that you're looking to break out from, because market will look for false breakouts. It'll look for liquidity probes, and it'll look to take your money before then moving off in the direction that you wanted it to go. So again, look, it came down, retested this area perfectly and shot off. So if you'd got in and been patient for all this time and not entered any trades, you would have lost zero money, and you would have got in somewhere around here, potentially 1,717 pips. That is crazy, absolutely crazy. If you had just been patient. I mean, these types of moves do not come often at all, but if you were to have analysed this market for a full year, 1,717 pips is a very, very good payout for your patience. So that's just a really key benefit, being patient and making sure that you do not enter any silly markets, because if you do keep an eye on them and you are patient and know what type of market that it's in, if it's ranging, you know that when that 30% comes round, when that time for a trend to really take off comes round, you know you're going to be ready, you're going to be prepared, you're going to be able to execute, and you're going to reap the rewards of a massive move like this. So let's find one last piece of price action on a different chart, just so we really solidify and hit home all the different types of markets you want to stay for. Let's go for NZD, USD, Kiwi dollar, and let's go back and find an untradable market. So again, as you can see here, price action straight away, a lot of wicks up, a lot of wicks down, small candled bodies, not really convincing structure. We've really just moved sideways for quite a while now, and as you can see here, we've broken this low, and that's when we would have got in for the market. Even another entry once it came, broken this level, retested it as a naked level. It was support, now it's became resistant, and we would have entered another position here, down a target down to the bottom of these lows. As you can see, we've failed, we've not been able to break these lows, we've closed back above, and then we've shot up and failed to use this as resistance. We've actually broke through, tested it again as resistance to just see if it's worthwhile being used by the market. We've broken through, and then it looks like we were going to use this as a bit of support. We would have trapped in a lot of buyers here because that's technically bullish structure on a previous previous resistance is now support after it's been broken. We would have predicted to at least taking this up to here, trapped in a lot of buyers, and we would have took all their stop losses around about this area, and then created some higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then shot off down. So I really do hope this has been helpful in you understanding what type of markets to stay with. And again, you'll be able to train your eye, you'll be able to see on various time frames what types of markets that you don't want to be getting involved in. You'll be able to see the wicks up, the wicks down, you'll be able to see the small candled bodies, you'll be able to see the behaviour, you'll be able to see how it's reacting in certain levels. You'll be able to see if it's been ranging for quite some time if you're expecting a pop up. And again, this is where it comes in handy to know what type of charting patterns are most probable to pop to the upside, most probable to pop to the downside, the fashion that they pop. Do they tend to round off before dragging down slowly, or do they move explosively out the patterns? What's the probability of these things? And always know that just because they're more probable to do a certain thing, that the opposite can't happen. It's all about probabilities, it's all about weighing up your options. You are technical traders using fundamental and technical analysis to gain an edge on the market, and you must be able to understand what type of markets you're trading in. I hope this has been helpful. Like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and we will see you in the next one.